We're now 5 days into the second month. Thank you for being a part of the program. Just a little FYI, glancing at the calendar, Valentine's Day falls on next Wednesday, the 14th, a week from this Wednesday. Just to put that out there as a little friendly reminder. Weather-wise, what are we going to talk about tonight? Continued weather pattern that we're all in favor of. Temperatures in the 50s, actually into the low 60s. We topped out at about 62 or so here today at the studio, and we'll do so again on your Thursday and not be all that bad in between either. A little cooler tomorrow, but still we have a nice run for the most part, as there are some changes and there are some cold fronts coming towards the latter part of your 7-day that we'll discuss in more detail in just a few seconds. Let's discuss e-cigarettes and vaping before we go any further. And a Forbes study done recently that I came across today, and it found that perhaps, to no surprise, vaping is certainly the most popular among Gen Z adults. And those, of course, are 18 to 24 years of age. And the Forbes study found that 11% of Gen Zs use e-cigarettes across the nation. And when you break it on down a little further, Tennessee actually has the most e-cigarette users, but Kentucky is right on its heels at number 2. Tennessee, 5.7% of overall adults, 12.1% of Gen Zers vape every day in Tennessee, 5.1% of overall adults, and 8% of Gen Zers vape some of the time. And e-cigarette use increased 5.1% between 2016 and 2022 in Tennessee. In Kentucky, 6% of Kentucky adults, tied for the most in any state, and 17.9% of the state's Gen Zers said they vape every day, 4.5% of adults overall, and 11.6% of Gen Zers say they vape some days. Kentucky ranked third for e-cigarette use among Gen Z adults. Going on down the list, Oklahoma, Idaho, Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, West Virginia, North Dakota, and Hawaii in that order. A lot of arrests, a lot of other news to pass along to you tonight. First off, a clarification in regards to a report that I aired last week. Some of the information that we would later find out I would Friday evening was not correct from the Sheriff's Department. The charges and the names there were, however, some details of the actual incident were incorrect. As was reported, Stephen Dudnowski was charged with assault in the 4th degree, no visible injury, and Tarek Dudnowski was charged last week for assault in the 2nd degree. This after an incident where authorities were called to a residence on Zeno Dudnowski Road around 9:36 on Thursday night. The Sheriff's Department indicating in their citation that both men were arrested, and there are now, as I understand, possibly more arrests pending the investigation. As it was reported to me, it was a third suspect not seen here who was stabbed. However, it's now being confirmed through the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department that it was actually Tarek Dudnowski, who received stab wounds to his arm and his stomach, described as non-life-threatening or superficial by authorities, nonetheless was cut or stabbed by a knife. While there was a third individual, Daniel Armstrong, named in the arrest citation, being indicated as he was the one with the knife. He was still being sought after by authorities to question and or arrest at last report. And the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department is also reporting 2 cases of reported shots being fired, one into a residence, one reportedly at vehicles here in McGoffin County. The latter has already netted in 1 arrest, a man jailed and still lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center since yesterday on a 1st-degree count of wanton endangerment. Early yesterday evening on Lick Creek, around 5 o'clock, Officer Neil Watson with the Sheriff's Department says that he was on patrol on Route 7 when he was dispatched to the residence of a William Coffey seen here. The caller to 911 stating that he was out on his front porch, that being Coffey, shooting at vehicles as they drove by. A residence where he lives on Lick Creek, as I understand. Upon arriving at the scene, the deputy discovered William Coffey as lying, what appeared to be passed out on the couch in his living room with a handgun lying beside him. The officer made entry into the home, saw spent shell casings on the porch and by the front door. The front and back doors were both opened, and while in the residence, another officer located a Diamondback Manufacturing firearms box lying on the stove. The handgun retrieved was a Walther P22 handgun. The handgun lying beside Coffee was placed in the Diamondback pistol case and seized for evidence while he was lodged on again, count of wanton endangerment in the first degree. And these are some pictures of a residence sent to me earlier today that was the target of gunfire, what appears to be high-caliber gunfire, on multiple occasions. I can also confirm that the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, who, along with the state police, has responded to this general vicinity numerous times, were back in the area today. The resident in question is in the Salt Lick area of Magoffin County, and I spoke to Sheriff Meade for a moment or two as he was arriving on scene today. He confirming that his office had been there on numerous occasions and just several days ago was there after reports of shots fired into this home came into the Sheriff's Department through 911. They had gone back today after additional shots had been fired into this residence, some or all of which you can see here. As I understand, other officers, as well as the new K-9 unit for the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, which was en route or getting ready to attempt to conduct a search of the area, still trying to determine exactly what the shooter was and where they had left. There was some evidence collected at the scene. No one was said to have been injured during these shootings. However, the sheriff did indicate that on one of the occasions there were people standing out or by or in the vicinity of this home when it was fired into. Again, still a very ongoing investigation. I hope to have more details and hopefully an arrest to report tomorrow. More news in a moment. Just last week, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky entered an agreed judgment of about $5 million in favor of the United States and against Aculab, doing business as Thoroughbred Diagnostics, for submitting false claims for drug testing services, urine testing done. Those bills sent to the Medicare and Kentucky Medicaid programs, and in the same investigation and case, the U.S. also entered into a settlement agreement with Edgewater Recovery Center, a drug rehab facility that operates in several Kentucky counties, eastern some of them as well, many of them, as Edgewater caused the submission of those fake laboratory claims, it having to pay the government $2.2 million. And over the course of the weekend, the operators of the Edgewater facilities found themselves arrested on unrelated but drug charges. Edgewater Recovery Center has facilities in Flemingsburg, Paducah, Pikeville, and in Moorhead that I am aware of. And two of the main operators identified as 43-year-old John Elam and his wife, 43-year-old Myra Elam, both of the Moorhead area, were arrested. Late Friday night, Saturday morning, a driver reportedly notified authorities after seeing a vehicle traveling or driving recklessly at a high rate of speed on I-64. The officer, after making a traffic stop at a gas or convenience station, noted in his citation that both appeared to be unsteady on their feet. Both failed field sobriety tests. Both were slurring their words, describing the driver as John Elam as drooling while talking to police, and both having a hard time just communicating with the officer and making body movements. So far, John Elam is charged with driving under the influence of suspected drugs. The female charged with public intoxication of drugs. While it was noted in the arrest citation that both threatened the arresting officer with their connection to many public officials in the area. I've got your calendar. I've got one announcement which I think might just be coming in, so let's pause while I check and make sure. Might be a birthday, and I'll be right back with the rest of the show. Regardless of what season it is, you can always find fan favorites of the Ville, Salyersville, at the seasonal shop. For the dudes, Duke and Cannon, Turn Rose, and more. And always something for all the Hornet fans. And for all the ladies, it's always Wildcat season, and it all changes daily. That's why you always have to make a stop at the seasonal shop just next door to Fraser's Prater Drug Store. The best place for all your prescription, over-the-counter, and Radio Shack needs, with some of the very best hometown lunch specials and treats. They're a pair like you can find nowhere else but in Salyersville. You've seen the forecast, right? You know what season it is, so it is time to get ready. with New Year deals that are worth up to $200 off a new set of tires, and get your car running like new with only a $35 state-of-the-art computer diagnosis, and save all the payments for later with 6 months same as cash at Conley Tire and ConleyTire.net.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small-town values.
And Mom and Dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Cooked cabbage is back at your Sagersville Lee's, and so is the low-carb plate. I mean, yes, you can call it a low-carb plate because it is. There's barely any carbs in it, but it's also one of the tastiest meals we've got. And the healthiest, low-carb or not. With juicy roast strips, our famous green beans, and yes, that tasty cooked cabbage. A taste and flavor all its own, and only at your Sagersville Lee's.
Welcome to 2024. So while you're out breaking all those resolutions you made, Appalachian Wireless will help you keep the most important ones, saving money and staying connected. Appalachian Wireless is starting the new year with up to $600 off select devices. And that's with a new or renewed line on an Appalachian Advantage Unlimited plan or mix and match. Up to $600 off. So stay connected in 2024. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless. Terms and conditions apply. See AppalachianWireless.com for details.
Now let's check a couple of reminders real quickly on your community calendar for tonight. Tomorrow, the Montgomery County 4-H Teen Club will meet, and there's still time to get in. Teenagers, call 349-3216, 3:30 to 5 tomorrow. A lot of food, fun, activities, just good old-fashioned time. 4-H, can't go wrong there. Their Clover Buds Club for kids in grades K to 3 meets this week as well. They will meet on Wednesday from 3:30 to 4:30 at the Extension Service. And the 4-H After School Club will meet this week as well on Thursday, 3:30 till 5 at the Extension Service. Call 349-3216 to register. Something for all ages, and 4-H is fun for all ages and just a good thing to be a part of. The Water into Wine Food Pantry will have one of their first of the 2 regular distributions this week, and it's Wednesday from 9 till 11, and their Senior Commodity Day will be later on the 22nd of this month, and that will follow, of course, their second regular commodity day on the 21st. 9 to 11 on all occasions. And just a quick reminder, short calendar tonight, and no other announcements. Just a quick reminder, when you have one, this is the best place to put it, and that includes, of course, birthdays and anniversaries, too.
Platinum award-winning singer-songwriter Chris Jansen is coming to the MAC, and he'll be playing hits such as Buy Me a Boat.
But it can buy me a boat. It can buy me a truck to pull.
Fix a Drink.
But I can fix a drink.
And one of his most recent hits, Good Vibe.
Someone dies in the U.S. every 7 minutes from an overdose, and over half of the population gets or takes pills from a friend or a relative. And about 46 million and counting are exposed to narcotics in their drinking water. So don't toss them, flush them, or leave them lying around. Safely dispose of your unneeded meds anytime at Parkway Pharmacy,
where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Sagersville National Bank hopes to help you start the new year with financial freedom and peace of mind. From new services like Apple and Google Pay with your debit card, to their more than century of being dedicated to being your personal or business banking institution, they're here for you with digital, phone, or in-person banking at both locations.
Hello, I'm Dr. Cheryl Stalder-Cheney, podiatrist currently located in Sagersville, Kentucky. I've been servicing patients within Eastern Kentucky for the past 20 years.
Our feet are the foundation for everything we do, and whether you're suffering from fractures or injuries, need custom orthotics, diabetic foot care, sports medicine, heel pain, wound care, or anything else foot related, relief is just one step away. And here's your Licking Valley RECC 7-day sitting pretty we are. Temperatures, again, cracked the 60-degree mark today. We'll do it again before the week's end. And then from there on out, we'll be awaiting the potential arrival of a cold front or two. Just a quick reminder real quickly, the Lady Hornets are in action here at home on tomorrow night, and the boys are not back in action until, well, they're on the road tonight at Martin County, but they're home this Wednesday night hosting Ashland Blazer. And with that said, let's go into your Licking Valley RECC Outlook. I'm going to have to cut a couple of things kind of short and duck on out of here. We topped out at 64 degrees today. I'm at 51 right now still, on our way down to another chilly one at 24 degrees. A cold one, but still, nonetheless, 64 degrees. It was nice out there today. We actually have windows again at the office. Life changing. We've been living in a dungeon, a really cold dungeon for the past several weeks, but we've got new windows in, and they're going to finish it up tomorrow, and oh, we're so happy. Nevertheless, sorry. 51 on your Tuesday. Not quite as warm, but very nice. Mostly sunny. Nighttime lows again in the low 20s tomorrow night. Wednesday, we're right back up there into the upper 50s. Still sunny, still clear, no wind, no really anything else to speak of. Just nice and mild, 58, and closer to freezing Wednesday night under partly cloudy skies. And that's better than the low 30s, are better than the low 20s. Thursday's another keeper, 63 degrees, partly sunny. Mostly cloudy that night. Thursday night, yeah, and a low of 43 degrees, which is pretty mild. And those clouds are indicative of our first few shower chances that will start to work their way into the picture. And Friday, yeah, the most of all. Mostly cloudy, a 70% chance of showers on your Friday. Daytime high still around 57. So we've got between now and Thursday, and especially Thursday in the low 60s to enjoy. But Friday's not all that bad. Yes, some showers and some clouds, but we're still talking about 57 and 51 for your low and your high, so not much fluctuation in their temperatures, and that's not a bad thing, certainly. Saturday for the weekend, sunshine at least makes a partial return. We're going to look for 61 degrees on your Saturday, 45 that night. Partly sunny, and 50% chance of showers. Sunday, still upper 50s, partly sunny, a 60% chance of showers. Monday of next week, 49, partly sunny, a 50% chance of showers. And that pattern is probably going to continue along that gradient where we're going to see some more winter weather, come back eventually. That's it. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night for the next edition.